Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I'm a trained psychic. I have all of my psychic skills honed, trained, practiced, statistically analyzed. This is my mission in this lifetime to acquire information from the other dimensions and to pass it along to you. So, we had a very interesting chat yesterday in um, which we found out that I'm going to be able to teach you a lot more easily than I thought a superpower of interspecies communications. How is that? So let me tell you what the storyline is. I sketched this as the collective consciousness of this group 2 or 3 days ago. I have to go back and find out exactly what day it was. And in this sketch, you have the triple protection of the pyramids, root chakra nice and firm, square, which is the geometric shape appropriate for the root chakra, everything great, mind streams, great. Spaceships, we see them all the time, great. But the doors in the spaceships were open. What does that mean? And I thought, well, maybe that means we're supposed to be part of the ascension process is like Atlantis. When Atlantis went under, which I guess was not an ascension process, a lot of people were lifted up into a cloud, and from there they could see the destruction of Atlantis. We're now in an ascension process, so it makes sense that that's not what those open doors are. So yesterday I asked the dolphins, and they gave me a message about what those doors mean, which I read yesterday, but I'm going to read again today for those of you that are new so that you will know what's going on. And actually, I'm not going to read it. I will tell you in a synopsis what it is that the dolphins said. What they said is that those doors are like when a neighbor leaves their doors open. It's like a welcoming, come in, come visit, and would love to visit with you too. Except these are from galactic beings and they're technologically advanced spaceships. But that's exactly what's happening. We are now part of the galactic family. We're no longer protected from galactic forces. We now have to grow up and we need to learn to communicate and to deal with other beings that don't look like us and whose intentions are different. So, what happened yesterday when the dolphins were talking to me, they said that they referred to Uri Geller, which is the very famous and highly respected psychic, who was the one that had that. He was able to get people to bend spoons. And he gave parties for that, and a lot of people were bending spoons, and then people were bending spoons without him even being present. And what the dolphins explained was that his intention was so strong that people be able to bend spoons that they were able to. And that my intention that people be able to communicate with and have a relationship with ETs can be the lubricant and will be the lubricant for people to be able to have those superpowers, because interspecies communication is a superpower. And being able to deal and to see beings that are not from here is a superpower. And it makes sense. It's huge, but it makes sense. So that's what we're going to be doing now again. I can tell you that last night we got together, we ended up being almost 400 people, and many people could see the beings, spirit, not spirit, they are spirits, but they're aliens for the first time in their life. We did the mantra of being able to see them and work with them, and they were able to see them and work with them. And today I had a couple of other chats, and a lot of people in the chats were telling me that last night when we finished the chat, they continued to work with these beings. They could see them. This was so exciting. So it's like opening a door, and it's so easy to walk through. And it always has to do with intention. Uri Geller's intention was that people be able to bend spoons. And my intention is that you be able to gracefully integrate with these beings that are here anyway. A lot of them have been here for a very long time. A lot of them are coming in new. A lot of them are not wonderful. but the ones that leave their doors open in their spaceships are the kind of beings that you want on your side. And what we found last night is that they help. They'll give healings. They'll move things. And wherever they're at, these particular ones anchor a really good vibration, which is kind of fun. They look like Pillsbury Doughboys and bouncy. And I had seen them before in Bimini, in the part of the island that's the closest to these huge stone steps that were found under the water that many people feel were part of Atlantis. So maybe there's a portal there. But I used to see them at night when I would walk to my room to the main hotel. And they would walk with us in the whole walkway all the way to the main hotel. So here we are. Superpowers, which human beings have always had, but that have been tucked away, hidden away, locked away, are now supposed to be totally available, and they are. And this that's happening now will be part of that process. So you need to put your belief system away and just follow instructions. At any time, you can click off, whether you're watching in video or whether you're watching this in a podcast. So we're going to go ahead and start with the mantra, which I will write. Please, God, help us with our intention to miraculously see and work with these beings. We're not talking all of them. Some beings are really, they look like the monsters that we've been shown. We're not talking about those. We're talking about these in particular that came up in my sketches that are welcoming us, and we need to welcome them into our lives. So give me a second to be able to write the mantra up. Okay, here we are. We are going to use the trilling music by Mateo Cuaron, which is the one that relaxes the mind streams, which is part of the instrument that we have for creation. And we're going to do it 7 or 8 minutes, and you can put here on the side any comments that you have. When I put see and work with the ETs, we're talking about these particular ETs. You're going to be seeing a lot of the really bad ones anyway. But you're going to feel a lot better if you allow yourself to tune into this at this level with these particular ETs, because they will soothe you. The same as going to a place in which everybody looks crazy and different, and all of a sudden you find people that, yeah, they look a little bit different, but you can kind of tell they're not crazy and they're not going to wish you ill. Therefore, you feel safer in that place because there are some people that are nice. Same thing with if you can get yourself to relax enough to ride the wave of my intention, that you very easily let go of whatever stops you from telepathy, which is the original language of the planet, that we all have that ability, and your willingness to be able to see something that maybe you haven't seen before. Okay? So for those that are coming on, let me say it in Spanish. Este chat es solamente en inglés. Okay? So let's go ahead and start. And let's do 7 or 8 minutes, and you can go ahead and put your comments on the side if you want, or you can hold them back and send them to me in an email if you want, or not say anything at all. So we will basically be reproducing what Uri Geller did, which was he had an intention that people understand that they could bend a spoon with their mind, which is like, and for me, this is easier. To be able to see an ET and talk to an ET is easier than bending a spoon, in my opinion. But it was done through his intention. That lubricated people being able to do that. And the dolphins have told me that my intention that you see and be able to work with ETs is going to lubricate that for you. So let's do it. Okay? Here we go. Nope. I put the Spanish one up, and that's not the one we're looking for. Here we go. mantra that you repeat in silence is, please God, help us with our intention to miraculously see and work with ETs. And what I can see is that this is opening up your third eye to a galactic level. So make the effort. The only effort you have to make is to be in tune with the mantra that you're repeating in silence. Please, God, help us with our intention to miraculously see and work with the ETs. Keep going. Okay. Mariela said she saw them, and I know that several other people in the chat do see them. Some people, when they first start to see things psychically, they're insecure and they don't trust what they see. So they'll say, well, I think I saw, you saw it or you didn't see it. I think, and that's because they're insecure and they think maybe they made it up. Uh, and that's one of the biggest issues with becoming a good psychic, understanding that you're not making up the images. If you're an earth sign, sometimes you're a little bit too opinionated or too based, everything based on the physical and something that's very secure. And it's harder for you to trust yourself with the psychic images and the information. But everybody feels insecure initially. So these particular ETs are short and bouncy, friendly, sense of humor. In the energy of them is fun, but they can work very seriously, and it's a really nice way to start integrating yourself into this new world that everybody is saying that we're into. They're talking politically and other stuff, but it's an entire new world, an integration with other beings that are not from here. And that many times when they come to planet Earth, they have to present as an angel so that you will understand that they come with goodwill. In this case, these ETs are not presenting as angels. Can we say that they're presenting as themselves totally? I don't know, because they all know how to shapeshift, as we human do also, but most of us don't know that. But they're not presenting themselves in a way to soothe us. Or maybe they are. Maybe that's why they look so cute. I don't know. All I can tell you is that if you see them, these particular ones, it's soothing and it's cute, and you're going to doubt yourself. That's part of the process. You have to go through that phase of doubting everything that you see and that you hear and thinking that maybe you made it up, or maybe it's your imagination. But remember, in the Middle Ages, they said imagination was a dimension. And it is visualization, which is imagination, which is how we create reality. So initially you're going to be insecure, but this is a very sweet way to start. And for the dolphins to explain how this was how people, thousands of people through the world, were able to bend spoons with their mind because of Uri Geller's intention, and that my intention is going to do the same thing for this. This is kind of sweet to know that. It's something where we can say, oh, that's true. Nobody can bend a spoon other than they're really magical, whatever. And yet tens of thousands of people did. They had spoon parties across the world. Kind of crazy. So I sketched our collective consciousness while we're doing this. So we look good, the three triangles, pyramids of protection, the green mind streams, the spaceships are closer, the door is still open, but look at the third eye. Look at it. It's in receive mode and very expanded. So this little exercise we did today is going and should expand your third eye, unless you're very determined not to be able to see stuff because maybe somebody beat you up when you were young, or you were sexually assaulted, or you lived through a lot of trauma and you don't really want to remember. That means you shut down your third eye. But other than that, you will have gotten a big push today, even via podcast, having to do with the third eye if you did the mantra, which I'll repeat again now. Please, God, help us with our intention to miraculously see and work with the ETs. They're there. They're inviting us in like good neighbors. And you can invite them in and you can talk to them. Telepathy, the original language of the planet, is still there. It was not wiped out by the language that, the different languages that we were forced into, which, by the way, very specifically were to separate us. In the Temple of Babel story in the Bible, language was to separate people so that they wouldn't conspire together. Telepathy unifies us all, including with the spirit world, which is a really, really neat thing, because your pets and the animals around you can be very important at this time when there's so many places of active danger, even just in terms of catastrophes. The animals know when there's a catastrophe coming well before it's there. In the tsunami of 2004, 200,000 human beings died. The animals didn't. They got out of the way and nobody paid attention. So you can start paying attention, and you can also start practicing with your dog, with your cat, with birds, with a squirrel, and just say, I want to communicate with you, and I'm listening. And when you first, get the first communications from animals, you are going to doubt yourself, and you're going to say, I just made that up. So I say to you, why did you make that up? And you'll go, well, I wasn't really trying to. You didn't make it up, but you will doubt yourself. It's part of the process, and that's okay. So today, second class with superpowers. First, I taught you a couple weeks ago how to work with the pink medusas, who even science say are from off planet. They are beings that are here, and they are wonderful. And they anchor an energy that's unbelievable, very stable, very grounding. These ETs stabilize, but they don't have as grounding an energy as the medusas have. It's interesting. I'm thinking now the difference between them. But you'll start to distinguish it, and you'll start to figure out and set up your own intergalactic SWAT team in terms of which beings you work better with and which ones are appropriate for what situation. It's very neat, and it's really important, and it is not a game. Okay? So that's it for today. We will see you again next week. And I appreciate you joining me. And please recommend these videos, which are on our YouTube channel that's called Frances Fox English. And it is also in our podcast, Frances Fox News from Other Dimensions. Okay? And thank you